I wanted to start this video by saying that I feel like I've turned a corner, and I've actually been feeling a little more myself the last couple of days here, and I am very grateful for that. And in the spirit of gratitude, and also because we're getting to the end of the year, I wanted to kind of talk through a few jobs I was on this year that I am very grateful for. So the first one was my job with Home Depot. So I was fortunate enough to be the production assistant for the stills team on a Home Depot commercial. And there's a few things that made this one of the coolest jobs I got to be on this year. So the first thing is that was probably the biggest set that I have ever been on since I started freelancing. So it was, they were filming a commercial, and so there was a film team and a stills team. And just being able to see behind the scenes how the directors work their magic to create these amazing shots and create something that's just very visually interesting, and all of the work and detail that goes into that was so cool to me. It was also a great learning opportunity for me, being on a set that is that big, when there's so many moving parts. It really helped me, I feel, to become a better communicator. And finally, I loved that job because it was a great networking opportunity. And I didn't go into that job with that expectation at all. I was just so excited to be on that set and to be a part of all of the things that were going on. And so for me, it was truly just about, doing the job itself, and like the networking aspect was just like a very pleasant bonus. And so like since I've been on that job, I've been reached out, like several photographers and producers have reached out to me for work. Unfortunately, for one reason or the other, like jobs have fallen through, or I've had scheduling conflicts, and so none of it has worked out. But just to know that these people have me on, like, just to know that these people know who I am and are reaching out to me, I feel like that's a really good place to be going into my third year of freelancing. So I'm very excited about that, and hopefully next year some of those jobs do come through. The second job that I wanted to talk about was my job with Dolce and Gabbana. So again, just so many reasons why this was such a great job. I think like the biggest thing for me is just it took me back to my roots, because when I was in college studying merchandising, being behind the scenes of fashion shows was one of the most fun things that I got to experience. And after I graduated and I started working, like there just weren't any opportunities to like go back to doing any of that stuff. And so I didn't think I would ever have the opportunity to be behind the scenes of a fashion show again. And so, Dolce & Gabbana did a show at North Park Center earlier this year, and I got to be kind of a part of that, and I got visibility to some of that, and it was a really cool experience, just like all of the beautiful garments and like the hustle and bustle of it all. And I just feel really fortunate to be able to see some of that stuff again, and with such a renowned brand on top of that. And then I also am grateful that I got to kind of flex some of my digital teching skills that I've picked up over the last year and a half. So Justin, if you're watching this, thank you very much for taking me on that job with you. And then the last job I want to talk about is with Fortune magazine. So this wasn't anything that was published. It was actually an event that they were hosting with Deloitte. And basically it was a summit where they invited, I think like 20 or so CFOs in the DFW area. And this obviously, because it was an event, was not the most creative job that I have ever had. But it was still such a cool job because I got to be there while all of these like kind of like powerful people or like people with influence were having conversations. And it was so cool to me to be able to hear what some of that conversation was, right? And it was just them talking about how they're trying to like push their industries forward, while still considering like their stakeholders and the bottom line and all of these different things like, environmental initiatives. And it's honestly overwhelming, and there are so many different things, but just being privy to a conversation that a lot of people don't actually get to hear was a very interesting experience for me. And I am so glad that I got to shoot that event. But yeah, so those are a few of the jobs that I was on this year that I really loved and enjoyed doing and learned a ton from, and am so grateful for. And I'm honestly just really looking forward to, the jobs that I'm going to get to do in 2023. So yeah, bye guys.